You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
The Kings forward group is too deep. Their blue line's better than the Oilers. They have a Vezina caliber goalie. You dumb fools. The Oilers have something the Kings don't. Connor Brown. Let's get into it with the lead. That feels good.
Yep.
Fucking Kings fans.
What a Friday we've got on our hands, folks.
Oh, man.
Lovely. And Wise Kyle's back.
That fucking Wise Kyle's in the chat somehow. What the hell? No one unmuted him.
I didn't know how to do it.
Unless 24 hours resets at midnight.
Oh, should we try it?
Should we do it again?
How funny would that be if I banned him again? Welcome into the show. We are live from the Sports Closet studio. From jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger. You'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet. You can also find them online, sportscloset.ca. We are also a presentation of Bet365. Download the app. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Liam, your streak is alive. 4 career home playoff games attended. 4 handshake lines witnessed.
Yeah.
1 Kings player flipped off with the double bird.
I may or may not have flipped off Alex Laferriere.
Did he look at it?
He definitely felt my presence.
Okay.
I will say that.
Okay.
It was a lovely evening with McMullet. An absolute roller coaster of a first period and third, to be fair.
Yeah.
Second period, arguably the quickest period of my entire life, the first half of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, awesome. Made the telly right away.
Yeah, you were on Brighton earlier.
Right away. I don't think we made it on again from what my mentions were saying, but yeah. Shout out Mistaken Mexican. What a man. Shout out McMullet. The greatest Oilers fan. That guy is awesome.
He's crazy.
He's so nice. Every single person that comes down, he must say the same thing to them. You drive from Strathmore? Sure do. How long does that take? About 3.5 hours, roughly. Every game. Yep. How many games in a row? 161. Can I get a picture? Yeah, sure. There you go. See you later. Every conversation.
Damn.
It's hilarious. And he just doesn't care. He just does it. It's great. He's the best.
He is the best. Shout out to Trev. Very, very good guy. And yeah, shout out to Mistaken Mexican. What a beauty. What a beautiful human being. I love him.
Yeah, and shout out to everyone that was at the Oilers game yesterday, because that was it was a good vibe. I think the Kemper chance got to him. I really do.
I believe that 100%. And I love the Oilers in-game crew. I think we have the best in-game presentation in the entire NHL. If you've been, and we have been to so many other buildings, and we say this a lot on the show, but we've been to so many other buildings.
Yeah.
No one does it better than the Oilers.
No, and the thing I like about what they do is they obviously encourage you to be loud, but it feels like it's not just get up and clap. It's hey, here's a donair toss or a t-shirt toss. Something. They give you a reason to stand up and celebrate.
It's legitimately engaging, not just
Yeah. Or just get up and be left side clap, right side clap. If you're a girl, clap. It's no. Also, one thing we've got yesterday, I'm very sorry to do this, but I remembered when he was getting everybody absolutely hyped up. Happy birthday to Tony Bra. It was his birthday yesterday. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, Tony.
Friend of the show. The only person who's a friend of the show without appearing on the show.
Yeah. And we don't expect him to come on.
Nope.
Not because of him, but because of other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl.
Honestly, not even Daryl. I think the Cates generally like us. Actually, I know well, anyways, I'm getting down a weird rabbit hole now. I want to do something. I don't, listen, I ate my crow this series. Oilers fans like to poke at me about the Janmark thing. Which is fine.
You shouldn't care about that.
Who cares? Who cares? Yep.
He's got 2 goals all season. You can be criticized.
Exactly.
But he's got 2 and he's been
Klingberg
awesome.
thing, sure, whatever. But I want to get to one big take for our friends at RV Easy. Your motorhome or travel trailer isn't just for getaways, it's a moneymaker on wheels. Most RVs sit parked in the driveway. With RV Easy, you can rent out your motorhome or travel trailer for over $20,000 this year. Founded, owned, and operated by Canadians, RV Easy takes care of everything, including insurance coverage provided for every rental. And best of all, you choose when to rent and you set your own pricing. List your RV for free today at RVEasy.com. That's RVEZY.com. RV Easy, rent your RV, make money easy. Okay. We had a clip Actually performed really well.
Was it a donut kind of?
No. 100,000 impressions, 100,000 views on Twitter, not impressions, views of me. Also, 78 bookmarks.
Damn.
78 bookmarks, 74 comments, only 117 likes. Okay.
Hey, didn't get ratioed.
Yep. The quote is, "This year's Kings team is different. I'm telling you they are not." And it's me outlining how the LA Kings are not winning this series. Shall we go through some of the comments?
Let's do it.
It is.
I would love to.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. If I had all day and my Twitter account wasn't from my work, I'd be in this shit for hours. First one, some dude said no difference at all. Talked about how much they score, whatever. Same guy then goes, except statistically, this is demonstrably not true and completely false. The hubris will be their downfall. This dude has no idea what he's talking about.
No clue.
Paul, suck it. West Coast hockey bias. Surely they're in with something measured. So the Kings aren't different because the guy you cite is changing the momentum in the series. Victor Arvidsson now plays for you. Here's a few differences. Darcy Kemper, womp womp. Kings got bigger and tougher. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Mostly healthy. Who cares? Beat you despite it. Fogel plays for us now. Missed on 2 breakaways. Youth took the next step. Alex Turcotte played 19 minutes in the whole series.
Yeah, they didn't play your youth. Ironically, they scored yesterday too.
Yeah. HB LA Kings fan just simply said, this guy drinks bathwater.
Wow, who doesn't?
I'm struggling to find the insult. MG, this is an ignorant take. Justin, the Kings goaltending is improved. Kings scoring is improved. Oilers are way more injured. Casey, you're wrong on this one. Jake, at no time previously did the Kings have the most goals scored since the deadline and least goals given up since the deadline. If you saw that, then you would know there is a difference this year. Still out in first round. Jeremy, wake up, man. The Kings are going to walk the Oilers. You heard it here first. Walking them to a loss in 6 games. Burst of energy. Okay, they tied a franchise record for wins. This guy's a clown. LOL. Honk honk. Oilers in 6. It's just so much fun.
Did he say Hong Kong?
No, I said that.
That would have been. That would have been a great joke.
Oilers are different. They're 2 forwards, a D-man, 15 figure skaters, and 2 weak goalies. And we scored more goals on your Vezina caliber goalie than on our career backup.
Big Save Dave should have gone in yesterday.
I was hoping we'd see Big Save Dave.
I was hoping so too. I was actually a little worried we might see Stu in there at some point too. What else we got? Let's make this a YouTube video. I feel like we've got
It's so funny. Ignorance is bliss, huh, buddy? Yep. Blissfully going to the second round. Scott T. Everyone has a podcast. They do. This one's actually my job, though. So, yeah, this is just so good. Buddy probably makes the same argument. Oh, can't read the rest of that one. Jesus Christ. That one was so aggressive. Wow. I can't tell if you're misinformed or ignorant. Both. Not saying the Kings are going to curb stomp the Oilers, but there's no reason why there's a reason why the Kings are number 1 in goals against and goals for after the trade deadline. It's almost like winning games after the trade deadline doesn't mean anything in the playoffs.
Regular season.
Just your typical garbage spilt by Oilers Nation. Sure.
That might have been an Oilers fan.
Actually, that was an Avs fan. Buddy, worry about your own shit. Nice history lesson, but as per usual, you guys don't make a point. The Kings are freaking good and will beat the Oilers. Sorry it sucks, but it's true. That's an Oilers fan. All right, buddy, don't watch.
What?
I don't know. It's so funny. All of this is just so good.
I love the 78 buck marks. That's such a...
Because
no one came back.
Yeah, I mean, I've really haven't been getting a lot in the replies today, but that's how it goes in this line of work, Liam.
Yeah, it's it's a funny world we live in. People just love to hate on these platforms, and what I always say is just don't get ahead of yourself. I had a tweet that said, after the Oilers lost, I said Oilers in 5. I was willing to continue that on until the Oilers inevitably would win, and they did end up winning in 6, so I was pretty close. But I had a few Kings fans in there too after they won game 2. It's like, don't get ahead of yourself. You've had a lead in this series before, and you didn't win. So today's a great day. May 1st was an awesome day. But I'll be honest, this is something me and you, and obviously you tweet about it, but like the start of the series, like this seemed inevitable to me. Like there was nothing about the King. I shouldn't say nothing. That would actually be ignorant of me. They have threats, and Kempe was obviously someone you're like,
yeah,
oh boy,
and
he could do it. Like Kempe's good, but he's just like, I don't know. Eventually, they just outsmarted them. They tried to outsmart themselves, and they just clearly just screwed it all up.
You'll let me know when JD's here, right? Cool.
Can you send me? Oh no, man.
What?
I'm good.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah.
My point with all of this stuff we said earlier was not that this isn't the best version of the Kings or whatever you want to say. My point was it doesn't effing matter. They do not play hockey the right way.
Yeah.
They were down by 2 goals with 10 minutes to go. They had 1 guy forechecking and 4 in the neutral zone. And it's just like, you can have all the fucking talent in the world. You can play the most banged up Oilers team with the worst goalie. Pick one. Who cares? If you aren't going to forecheck and if you aren't going to play intense, you're not beating this Oilers team.
Yeah.
That's how Florida beat us.
Yeah,
They were very, very good on the forecheck, timely special teams, and good goaltending. Kings had the timely special teams early on. That kind of went away. Didn't really have good goaltending, although you could argue no one. He's a Vezina finalist. Like, no one would have played good there. If your structure is going to be what the Kings is, and if they're going to continue to do this, and it's why when they hired Jim Hiller, I said, this is point blank a mistake. You can go back, episode of the DFO Rundown, the day they announced they're removing the interim tag and he's the full-time head coach. I said, why? I asked Jason and Frank about it. I said, if the number one reason they've been losing to the Oilers is their style, why are they keeping around a guy who is going to play the exact same? And during the regular season, they played more up-tempo, but then when rubber hit the road, Jim Hiller coached scared.
Totally. And even, too, we had a good conversation with Zach on the postgame show yesterday as well, of just being like, the start of the season was, they didn't have Drew Doughty.
Yeah.
And it's not an advantage to lose what was their best defenseman. He's still a great player.
But you can make the most of it.
You made the most of it because they played Clark and Spence. And those guys should have been able to take that opportunity. The whole organization should be like, this is actually a positive in a way. The silver lining in this. We can push these guys. We'll get to the playoffs. They'll be battle-tested. Spence already played in the postseason. Brandt's still young, but that's okay. He can be a 6th guy. And they just refuse to play them at all. And then ironically, like I said, they're the guys who get the goals for you yesterday at pivotal moments, too. Like the Clark goal, like Sherwood Pickett could have probably had it. He did put it. It was a good shot as well, to give him some credit. And then obviously Spence gets one towards the end of the second period as well to somewhat kill a bit of the Oilers' momentum, at least like stun the building a little bit. And they just refuse to adapt and be like, oh, these guys can actually play hockey and they're good to do it. And Hiller had a quote, and it was funny. It was Dennis again who asked him the question of being like, will you think about not playing your depth over the summer? Like, do you see this as a mistake? And he's like, no.
Which is just
like,
mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is mind-blowing. I'm like, maybe in the moment you don't want to admit to it, but like, you should think about it. Like, I think that fourth line, to give the Kings the credit that I think those guys deserve, I think they came out and did a relatively decent job when they were given some minutes to play. And like last night, they actually played a decently more amount. And they were effective.
They all set series highs in minutes by the end of the second period. Okay.
Unbelievable. Imagine if they did have 6 games. And like, obviously, I'm glad they didn't because there was one, but it's just like, you had the opportunity to take the series, but you just weren't good enough.
JD's here? Oh, I thought that's why you gave me a thumbs up. Sorry.
Oh, no, he's pointing at the telly.
Ah, well, our monitor's still broken.
It was a quote from Hiller.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to some super chats then, because the chat is on fire. First off, our YouTube chat is brought to you by our friends over at Odd Company Brewing and the Nation Beer Everyday Lager, a crisp, clean lager crafted not just for game day, but for every day. 2 locations in Edmonton, Ritchie, and downtown. Duran dropped in a whole bunch. I told you guys, he says, believe. Cal, Brown, can't go wrong. Let's go for the medieval sweep. Dropped in another one. Knobloch is made for the playoffs. He's the best game-to-game coach I've seen. Studies and gets creative, not locked into a set way. Nurse and Bouchard, horrendous early in that hockey game. Yeah. Nurse and Bouchard didn't play a lot together in the back half of that hockey game. It was Kulak, but this guy, and everyone was moving around. Granted, I don't think there was an Oilers defenseman who played good. Northside Norm is in. Oilers Nation should send a thank you card to Jim Hiller. Well, I mean, wherever he ends up living next, because I can't imagine he's sticking around in Los Angeles after all of this.
So I remember, I'm sure it was Frank earlier in the season came on and said they picked him because they were still playing Todd McClellan. There's like a cheaper contract. Oh, God. So does that mean, I don't know how much longer, but they would maybe potentially pay 2 coaches next season not to coach them?
I think McClellan's done.
McClellan will be done, but either way, like
plus
another
the Wings are now paying him, so I'm sure there's something there. Yeah.
Okay, but like how Rob Lake and the other fellow, what's his name?
Luke Robitaille?
Yeah, they've got to go. Like, and I hope they don't.
Blake doesn't have a contract.
Oh yeah, right.
So here's my take on that: is Rob Blake doesn't have a contract for next year. Kopitar has 1 more season. Kempe has 1 more season.
Yeah.
Doughty has 2 more. Dano has 2 more. Kemper, I think, has 1 or 2 more. It's very clear. Like, I do think there is a world where Quinton Byfield can be a star and drive a team.
Completely agree.
I build around Quinton Byfield.
Yeah.
I like some of their younger pieces, but it's just very clear that you aren't going to be good enough in this Pacific Division if you're the LA Kings.
Yeah.
So you know what you have to do, and it's painful, and it sucks. You go to Doughty and Kopitar, and you say, are you guys going to be okay if we suck for the next 2 years? And if they say, yes, we want to be one jersey players and retire as LA Kings, then you say, okay, you're signing up for this, and you go and you trade Danault because you'd get a decent amount for him, I think. And you get so much for trading Adrian Kempe.
$5.5 million.
$5.5 million. Dude, any contender is giving you multiple A-plus assets this summer.
Yeah.
For Adrian Kempe.
I honestly thought about it. Like, I don't think they would trade into Edmonton,
No.
but imagine a guy like that on your team next to either McDavid or Draisaitl. Like, holy smokes.
I think you rip off the Band-Aid, you trade Kemper, you trade Kempe. I think you trade everybody that you can. And if Drew Doughty says, I want to go win a Stanley Cup somewhere, you trade Drew Doughty somewhere where he's going to go try win a Stanley Cup. And if you run out the thread with Kopitar for one more year and he retires, sure, although he's still just such an excellent hockey player. He could keep playing for as long as he wants to.
Yeah.
I think you need to do a little mini blow up here. And I think you need to suck for 2 years, which is crazy because they haven't won a playoff series since I think they won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, they haven't won since they won the Cup. The Ducks have won a series more recently.
And they haven't made the playoffs for 8 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you need to do a painful thing. And this is all a roundabout way of me saying, does Rob Blake, with millions and millions in the bank and all of that stuff, does he want to be the GM to do it? I don't know.
I would assume no as well. And I don't think the team should want him to be the guy to do it. He's proven he can't because they did it already.
Yeah.
And he traded arguably their better prospects in the process. Like, Kevin Fiala's a good player. Brock Faber looks like a star.
That was probably not a smart trade.
Probably didn't want that one. I just remember, like, back then, it's like, look at all these players the Kings have. And Turcotte played fourth line for them yesterday. He hasn't worked out. There's a lot of the guys too. It would suck to be them. Mm-hmm. But I would agree, like, you've got to do something, some kind of retool on the fly here to figure it out. And the stuff you could get for Kempe, like, I would give it so much. There
is also, and maybe this is how Rob Blake stays around, there is also another way to look at this. They have 7 defensemen under contract for next year. They have their starting goalie signed. They have all these other contracts. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have 11 forwards on their payroll. So they basically, what I'm saying, their projected cap space, they need a backup goalie and one more forward with that money. They have $23.2 million. So here's the flip side of it. Do you just go throw every single dollar that you can at Mitch Marner?
Is he even a different?
But right, like I'm saying, that's the other way to go. Is like we have one more year of Kempe on his value. We have a couple more years of Doughty and Kopitar being good. Let's just try again. Let's try to get that difference maker. Like draft pick capital, they have some first. I mean, maybe they have some young players. Like I don't know if there's going to be that magical trade out there, but like I don't know. Maybe there's a world where it's just Mitch Marner.
I could see it, but I think they do have the players to kind of do it in advance to a second round. They just got to find the coach. But I hope they don't. I hope Jim Hill is back. I hope Rob Blake's back. I hope they just keep running back this team because it's good for the Oilers. But I also think down the road, like the Oilers eventually just got to climb the standards a bit so they can avoid LA and Vegas in the first rounds.
Yeah, start playing wildcard teams.
Yeah, that would be preferred because LA... They should have probably had this series, but the Oilers continue to play.
I'm watching that replay of Klingberg falling on a puck in the crease with like 5 minutes left. Crazy.
That was a great play.
And also, Mikey Anderson just goes and murders Calvin Pickard.
I don't get how that wasn't a penalty.
Because they don't call penalties on the Kings.
But the thing was, and I was watching it again, like I could see the argument in the moment of being like he was out of his crease. But once you go and if they had scored, hypothetically, the others can easily just go and review them and be like, no, actually his heels were like clearly in the crease still. Like his body was still in the crease. And he eliminated him from the play. Yeah. Like it was a huge hit. And I think considering Arvidsson hit Kemper, which was probably a penalty, it could have gone either way, but I could see why they called it. And then to like not call that, it was insane. Also, maybe someone can explain this to me, but there was a stoppage in the game yesterday when it looked like somebody hit Doughty in the bench. Did you see that in the game? Like Doughty was on the bench and he had a towel over his nose.
Oh,
And they were
yeah.
discussing- I forgot to look back. I actually don't know what happened.
So Doughty got clipped with a high stick, and high sticks are one of those penalties where a linesman, they can
Yes.
meet and a linesman can say like whatever. So they were huddled up talking if there actually was a high stick.
But was Doughty playing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he got hit in the bench.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, the goalie interference call was nuts. Also, too, there was another play. The Oilers were killing a penalty on the Kings in the third. Deneau clearly just like hooked
Oh yeah.
McDavid and slashed him, and it's like the ref was right there, and it's just like that is clearly a
'Cause-
tired penalty from Deneau.
Well, and also it's just the game management side of it all being like
It was ridiculous.
we don't want to have Jim Hiller say you gave them the win with a power play. So they don't call power plays. Whatever. I mean,
yeah.
who cares? Is this
Here's
the
Calvin Pickard.
like holy shit? That's worse than the Arvidsson one.
Also, too,
Arvidsson was at least like making a play to try score, which is what he was mouthing to the ref. He's going, I'm trying to score a goal.
yeah, 100%. Whatever happened to concussion protocol, I feel like that's happened to the Oilers a bunch. Like the Kemper one, he got hit. That was a knee to the head, and they just didn't take him out. And he called off the trainer. It's just a weird night for officiating, which has become such a common conversation. I know people hate it, and it's considered a loser mentality, but I can't stand it anymore. Like, it's so frustrating to have to withhold your comments on like how poor it is every single night of these playoffs. They're supposedly the best in the world. I would love to see the worst. Like, there can't be much of a difference. I can't imagine.
Yeah. A lot of people in the chat being like, man, if they play that way against Vegas, they're going to get rolled. They're going to get cooked. You were all the same people who said the Oilers were losing this series. You were the same Oilers fans who, when it was 2-0, were like, this season is over. Front office is an embarrassment. All this stuff. Like, again, when are we going to learn? Write off this team at your own peril. Everyone thought they were going to get rolled by Dallas last year, too.
I just want to know what more people wanted from them yesterday.
And,
They
like-
started out bad, but that second period, I know the Kings pushed. They didn't get chances.
Nope.
They didn't. At the end, yes, Spence got the goal. That was basically the only opening they had. The Oilers absorbed the pressure, defensively was sound, and got pucks out and deep. Yes, the Kings pushed in the third because they were literally, their season was on the line. And the Oilers still managed to score 2 goals in the second, and they found a way to score the empty net. I'm sorry. Couldn't care less what the score was. The Kings are still a good team. They were desperate, and the Oilers still scored 6 goals against them.
Yeah.
Against a Vezina candidate. What is it for?
Let's and again, just like write off this team at your own peril. And the other thing too, in a best of 7 series, and if there's no greater example of this than the last 2 series that we've seen the Oilers play in. Cup final, this one. Game by game by game. When they were down 2-0, if I would have told you they were going to roll 4 straight, when they were down 3-0, if I would have said, get ready, this series is going 7 at some point, a bunch of you would have called me crazy, right? I would have probably called myself crazy to an extent. Although this series, I definitely believed a lot more than I would have in the Cup final. But like game by game. And when you go game by game, look at the team with the most game breakers. It's the Oilers.
The Oilers are the teams will not want to face.
Yeah.
There's too much that can go wrong for other teams. Also, a ton that can go right. The Oilers are absolute roller coaster, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when they are on their game, I truly don't think any team in the NHL can beat them.
No.
They're the best.
When they play their A+ level, which we saw for 5 periods in this series, what were the shots in those 5 periods?
It wasn't even close.
Like, it was like basically a 5-to-1 ratio.
Yeah. And then in that second period again, take the pressure,
Yes.
be opportunistic on your chances. Huge goal by Trent Frederic yesterday.
Massive.
Unreal.
Well, let's keep getting into that. Let's do like a mini sort of scoring summary. Don't need to go through every goal. Still waiting for our boy JD. But let's go for our friends at Budweiser, a little scoring summary. Budweiser has been brewed in Edmonton for 45 years, and by partnering with Mark Messier, a proud Edmontonian, on this limited edition can that I'm holding that's got the Edmonton inscription on it, they're going to ignite that City of Champions spirit the same way the team did yesterday. It's been a while since the City of Champions was our official slogan, but as Budweiser wants to remind everyone, just because it's not the official slogan doesn't mean it's not something we can live by and embody. Budweiser. Is that cool? Budweiser.
Do me. Budweiser.
Oh, sorry. Budweiser.
Budweiser.
All right. There is a guy in that hockey game who had a 3-point night. And I'll, just hand up. If you would have been like, Tyler, a player named Connor is going to get 3 points, I would have put every dollar in my bank account into my Bet365 and done Connor McDavid 3+ points.
Yeah.
Connor Brown, I mean, what can you say? Let's roll the first goal of the game, which was the one Connor Brown threw on net. He thought he scored. It actually ends up being his line mate, Adam Henrique's goal. Credit to Sportsnet for the highlights, by the way. Great effort. Henrique goes hard to the net. Brown picks it up. A little bit of patience. You kind of wanted to yell, shoot, but you didn't because you believed this would happen. And this celebration from Connor Brown, I love him. I love him so much. The whiteboard today this is Connor Brown's team. I was also just going to write, I love Connor Brown. When he scores, he's everything I want the Oilers to be when they score. He's fired up. He's yelling to the crowd, screaming at the bench on his flyby. Like, man, this guy, Connor McDavid said it. That was his best game as an Oiler. I didn't watch a lot of Connor Brown early in his career. If that's not the best game he's ever played in the NHL, I'd love for you to show me another one.
Yeah, send me the highlights. Because last night he was buzzing, like hitting, creating plays, breaking up a ton of plays. Like he just bought into what the Oilers needed that night. And fantastic play. I don't think he ended up getting credit for that goal, right? I believe it went to Henry.
It went to Enrico, yeah.
Who also was pretty good last night. I thought the whole line was really solid, but yeah, even a couple of short-handed attempts for him. I was getting flashbacks. It was crazy.
That breakaway he missed.
I know.
I wanted that one real bad.
But unreal game, and again, the Oilers have depth. Like, I know that the board is a joke, but the fact that like those three names are on it, Yaremchuk, Pickett, and Brown, they're legit as well because they actually all played really well in those.
Those are the three reasons they won the last 3 games.
McDavid and Draisaitl did not score a goal in the last 2 games.
They did not have a 5-on-5 point, Liam, in the last two games.
That's nuts. That is nuts. McDavid was similar last year, I remember.
Yeah, he had a little lull at one point. Although he still led the series in points.
He did.
And boy, did that ever put a nice little chunk of change in my pocket. It's 1-1. Okay, Bryant Clark makes it 2-1. I know Pickard wants that one back. And then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the power play. Again, this was not the usual suspects. This wasn't Connor, Leon, and Bush dominating the game. But the Oilers' power play, sometimes it's not even about the percentage. It's about the timeliness of the whole thing. And that was an absolute snipe by Nuge at a moment where, again, like, if you don't score there, what if the Kings get the next one, blah, blah. And the Oilers took that momentum, bottled it up, and rolled because Zach Hyman then goes and finds the back of the net and makes it 3-2 about 7 minutes later in that game off a very, very nice deflection. Big draw win by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as well. Again, the Oilers are loading up McDavid and Draisaitl, which in a 7-game series, that probably wins you a game or two.
Yeah.
Right? Like their magic, how they can take over a game, that's great. The fact that they're now doing that and have 3, not 1, not 2, 3 other lines that can contribute the way they do is remarkable.
It's amazing. I was talking to someone at the game yesterday, and that's the point they made too. It's not like typically in the past when you've put those two together is because like you are in desperate need of a win, and you need those guys to show up. And that has happened in this series too, of course. We've seen it, but like the fact everybody else is showing up and contributing to this team, and there's just no passengers. Like, it's incredible. Like, Puckholzen finished the series with 4 assists.
Yeah.
Did he play more than 10 minutes? Maybe in the overtime, I would assume. But like,
no, I think he still only had 9.
Did he?
Yeah.
Incredible. Like, the team is bought in, and do you remember that clip of McDavid after game 2 when the Kings fans like kind of joking around with him? He's walking in.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but from that moment on, it just felt like a different team.
Yep.
And maybe it was just that. Shout out to that guy.
Second period. The next goal is always the biggest one, right?
Yep.
When they're up, when it's tied, you sit there and go, man, how good do you feel if they're up 3-2? Then they go up 3-2 and you go, man, if you can just get a 4th one, how much better do you feel about this game? And with 5:01 left in the second period, Darnell Nurse with the 4th line on the ice, a great little bit. Look at Janmark, just whoop, I'll let that go to Daryl. That's one your Vezina caliber goalie probably needs to stop. But Darnell Nurse finds the back of the net. Everything he did, it's the old Dumb and Dumber, right? The turnovers, all that, an awful first period, basically 2 goals against on his first 2 shifts, and you totally redeem yourself. Darnell Nurse nice and fired up. It's 4-2, and you're thinking, all right, if they can just get one more, if they go up 5-2, man, I'm just going to sit back and just relax in the third period. Going to go grab an extra beer maybe and just enjoy the crowd. And son of a bitch, they get that goal. Trent Frederic. Jay is running away with the betting challenge. God damn it. But the Connor Brown assist is unbelievable.
It's a crazy one. Crazy one. Brown almost had another one. I think it was him towards the end of the game too, where Kane just missed. I'm sure that was Brown who passed that across. But Trent Frederic, great game by him yesterday too. I'd say these last 2 or 3 have been really solid by him. I loved his between periods interview where he's like, yeah, this is crazy. Like, I walked past the Moss line on the way in. Nuts that those people just stay on there. But he's bought in. I love it. Do you know who wouldn't have scored that goal? The second round pick they traded away for him. I couldn't care less what they traded away for that guy. None of those guys are contributing to this team. Overpay, underpay. Who gives a damn?
It's my old joke of, would you trade a first round pick if you didn't even get you a player, but at 2 points, at any 2 points in the playoffs, you could just put a goal on the board?
Yes.
So he's worth it.
Yeah. It's a second round pick. Who's the second round pick
Max
in the Oilers
Warner
right now?
Max Warner. You forgot about Max Warner.
I didn't.
Okay. It's 5-2. And it's like, all right, get to the intermission. And boy, are we ever going to have a fun third period. And God damn it, Jordan Spence scores. Who was on the ice for the Kings on that Jordan Spence goal? Oh, Sam Hellenius.
Yeah.
2/3 of the fourth line was on the ice. Hilarious.
Hellenius.
Yeah, this just can't happen if you're the Oilers. They took their foot off the gas too early.
They did. The chaos, the excitement got them a little bit there, I think. Just it was the only time they allowed anyone to get into that position and force Pickett to put in an above average save, I think it's fair to say. So, yeah, there was a bit of a disappointing one, but luck to give them the flowers again. Fourth line shows up. Somehow, some way, they have contributed in most games this series despite playing like 2 minutes a night. It's the most idiotic thing I might have ever seen in a playoffs. Like, I think it's ridiculous. But shout out Jim Hiller.
Shout out Jim Hiller. 5-3 going into the third. And again, just the most stunning thing ever. The Kings don't forecheck. For the first 10, 15 minutes of that period, they are sending one guy into the offensive zone on the bulk of their shifts. And again, maybe that's just me with the Oilers colored glasses on. Maybe it wasn't that bad, but
it was. No, it was.
Like, there were just points where I'm just like, why? The Oilers were getting to the red line and at points, not even dumping it in, circling back into their own zone.
Yeah. They had so much time with the puck.
It's crazy.
And I think that's why guys like John Klingberg are able to thrive in this series a little bit. And I think it'll be interesting as Vegas see what they do against him. But I think just the confidence he's now able to have in his game, full credit to the Kings for allowing him to find his touch, because he changed the Oilers' run. He really did. Do you imagine if we had to play Josh Brown? Like, not only Josh Brown, but like Ty Emberson, who played well in this series. Don't get me wrong, wasn't a liability, but like did all that. But yeah, the Kings, I don't get it. I hope they continue again, but maybe just fold.
Fold her up.
Yeah,
Tell the NHL you're sitting for a year.
Bring up Ontario.
Mr. Burns dropped one in. The last 2 wins tell me the regular season injuries made our depth a force to be reckoned with. And we did talk about that a little bit, like getting some guys going and stuff.
Like Troy Stecher hasn't played in this series yet. Like, yeah, I was thinking about this yesterday. Like, if he didn't get injured, who knows what really happens here, but he would have been playing every game. He would have been utilized a lot. Like, I don't know. I think everyone will eventually play him. We'll ask Demers about it later, too, just like how you adjust your lineup a little bit. But, like, the Oilers do still have depth on the sidelines. Like, Kasperi Kapanen is a name that no one has said in this city for the past 2 weeks. He played a lot for the Oilers this season.
Yeah, so did Jeff Skinner.
And was fine. But, yeah, they're there if we need them. Hopefully not.
Wouldn't be an Oilers game if they didn't give you a little heart attack, though.
No, of course not.
Anze Kopitar deflects home a Drew Doughty point shot with 55 seconds to go, and there's just that little bit of like, oh, no. Oh, boy.
Because everyone had just gotten their feet, too, because there was like last minute of play. Everyone's up. That happens. Like, oh, well. That killed it a little bit.
And, like, your heart's beating. Face off at center ice is coming, and you're just like, please win this damn draw. Please win this damn draw. And to the Kings' credit, man, they pushed one more time, but the puck sent out of the zone. Connor Brown blocks a Drew Doughty slap shot. And, hey, value of being in the rink and sitting down low.
Yeah, so when Drew Doughty took that slap shot and it hit Connor Brown laughed right in his face and then smacked the puck into the empty net. It was the best thing. It was so funny. Like, what a way for him to end that game. And Drew Doughty, poor guy. Not really, but tough one.
Very rich guy.
Tough one.
Connor Brown burying the empty netter and then skating down to Calvin Pickard after the goal to go give him a hug when the game's not even done yet. Awesome. Connor Brown respecting that Oilers fans bet the puck line as well, because he
Huge.
also could have just scooped up that puck with his hand and the game would have been over.
I will say, Connor McDavid, my friend, my
And
hero,
Leon.
my king.
And Leon.
McDavid more, though.
Yeah.
Shoot the damn puck. There was like 3 minutes left. The net was obviously empty for like 4 minutes, whatever it was. McDavid had a clear line to the net, and he just didn't shoot and pass it to Draisaitl on his backhand. It's like, kind of put him in a bad spot there.
I
Shoot the puck,
hate when they
please.
do, like,
Just shoot. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Stats are, if you really think stats are irrelevant, McDavid,
you shoot that puck.
then you shoot the puck.
Shoot that damn puck.
Yeah. But he didn't, and they won. But they almost spooked me.
If that goal would have gone in, I would have won a lot of money, so I was very angry.
So would my friend I was with.
Not you?
Not me.
fun.
I forgot to do anything yesterday.
Oh, really?
I was just like so anxious to get to the game. And I got there. I'm like, well, puck's dropped and I didn't drop a penny on anything. But I won in spirit. That was a deliberate one. I could feel that feet touch.
Oh, really? I barely felt it.
I
All right.
always feel it.
I realized I may have made a mistake. Hand up. This one's on me as the guy who handles the guests on the show. Told JD 12:15 Mountain Time.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot that Arizona does this. Sometimes they're daylight savings time. Sometimes they're not.
Oh, no.
So we might just be doing a late show today.
Oh, he's 115 now?
I think he might be 1:15 because it's 11:30 right now in Phoenix. I just Googled it. That's on me.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
That's on me and the beers I drank last night.
Aren't you on the radio at 120?
I might have to bail on low tide now.
Oh, no.
I need to give the people Jason Demers.
That's fair.
I don't make the rules, man.
No.
A 6-4 win for the Edmonton Oilers, and they are off to the second round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs to play the Vegas Golden Knights. If you're curious about when that series could start, we haven't heard anything officially yet.
No.
But there is a boxing event Sunday night in Vegas. So
Yeah.
Monday or Tuesday?
Monday or Tuesday. I think the NHL would be okay giving everyone a Sunday off. Kind of just is what it is, isn't it? It's just whatever. But yeah, I could see Monday or Tuesday being the way to go. Because then you'll go, I think the way they like to do it is to have the Friday, Sunday games on the road. And then they want 2 weekend, not necessarily on the road, just 2 weekend games in a series. So you go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Similar to what it was this time.
So the only thing that could maybe mess this whole thing up a little bit, if St. Louis wins tonight, that game 7 is going to be Sunday.
Okay.
So if they want to perfectly alternate the 2 Western Conference series and go one, you can't make Vegas or whoever wins game 7 play Tuesday. I think you have to give them a day off and give them Wednesday. So then I think there's a world where the Oilers are Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. Or they could potentially start the Oilers on Monday and give them 2 days off.
So last year I lucked, and I know the schedule was a bit different because the Canucks went 6 and the Oilers went 5. The Oilers series ended on the Wednesday. I think the Canucks would have ended on the Thursday.
Yeah.
They didn't play till the next Wednesday.
So they give them almost a week.
A full week off. Because I remember that being a conversation like, the Oilers have a week off. Is that an advantage or disadvantage?
So, I
Turned out to
mean,
be an advantage.
you never really know. You never really know how the league's going to handle this or like how they listen to certain teams. I would imagine OEG and the Oilers are pushing very, very hard for it to be Monday, Wednesday because they'll want those Friday, Sunday home games.
Yeah, I would think so too. I think maybe the Colorado series going 7 as well might still make it a Tuesday start for both of them. Unless they say, hey, you have to play back-to-backs. They wouldn't do that, though. I don't see that as a thing. There is, I'm just going to check the schedule at T-Mobile Arena. I know you said it's just a boxing thing, but is there anything else?
Oh, yeah, if there's anything else they can't move. Like, they'll move like
Oh, no, Katy Perry on the 17th.
Okay.
Oh, which actually might throw a wrench in this thing. Because that would be a Saturday, which would mean that would, if it goes to 7, that would be the game 7.
Yeah, but they wouldn't hate having 2 days off to a game 7. They don't mind doing that. They did that in the Cup final.
So you think the game 7 would then just be the Sunday?
They just do
the
Sunday
18th?
night game 7 instead of the Saturday.
All right, that makes sense. Having 2 days off, we did see that between the Leafs and Ottawa for the election.
Oh, yeah. We did see that. Everything okay, Aaron? Yeah.
What do you got on your mind, my friend?
What are you listening to?
I'm listening to a McDavid interview.
Well, speaking of which, can we maybe do Sounds in the Room?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds in the Room is brought to you by Douglas Mattress. Speaking of in the room, I got a Douglas in my room at home. Not my closet bedroom. That is a normal-sized bedroom, damn it.
Harry Potter.
Shout out to our friends over at Douglas, a locally owned, and they started right here in Edmonton. Man, it honestly, sleeping on a Douglas, unbelievable. It's been named one of Canada's best mattresses, and it's great value starting at just $599. Douglas.ca/nation is where you want to go. If you want to sleep as good as I do, they do offer free shipping across Canada, and they have an industry-leading 365-night trial to be sure you love it. Free returns if not, and they donate. And if you return it, they donate it to a local charity too, which I think is a really cool thing that they do. Yeah. All right, Liam, you handled sound in the room today. Tell me what we got.
We have McDavid speaking with Gene about a bit of the series, right, Aaron? But also how the Oilers are seeking a bit of revenge on the Vegas Golden Knights from a couple of years ago.
It wasn't easy, but it was satisfying, tough all the way to the end. What did you think of how your team, despite the start in the series, the way they played in the middle, and eventually the end?
Yeah, I mean, up and down series, down series, and then a lot of ups on the way back or way down the stretch here. But got to have a better start, obviously. Next series wasn't our best tonight, but we just found a way. Picks gave us a chance all night. Scoring from all over the place. It was great.
It is a difficult task to be a netminder in the playoffs, let alone one that comes in 2 games into this series. Why do you think he did what he did to help you win the series?
We love playing for him. He's been a guy that's just been a battler his whole career, and couldn't be a better guy. We love playing for him. We love battling for him. He does a great job giving us a chance. It's great.
Do you take a night, maybe a day, to sort of celebrate what you just did? But how soon do you then turn your attention to Vegas, your next opponent?
Yeah, obviously we're already looking ahead here. Obviously we owe Vegas a good series. We don't forget what happened 2 years ago. So looking forward to it. Obviously exciting tonight to get it done. But get ready to go for another big series.
Connor, thanks for your time.
I should have paid closer attention to the video side of that. Someone in our chat said that Sam Gagner was walking around the rink last night. I actually don't know if that's true because I think his Instagram says he's in like Phoenix or something like that, unless he flew in for the game. But also, they definitely would have put Sam Gagner on the big screen if he was there.
100%. Alex Hemsky was there.
Yeah, Alex Hemsky got a really, really nice ovation. Also, Gene Principe, great interview. Shout out Sportsnet. His opening, him in the moss pit. This is so funny. This is so good. This is peak television.
Only
Gene can pull this off. But this is like the whole thing.
Where is he?
There you go.
Imagine, I wanted to ask Louis this, but obviously being a national broadcast now, I would imagine they have to change a few things about them.
Yeah.
I am so happy Gene is still able to just be like, nope, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to stand in the middle of all these teenagers and try and do my post game. And he did not flinch once.
No.
He did not miss a beat of the things he was saying. You can see eventually as it goes on, is he's just literally being pushed to the front of the line. It was crazy. Everyone just wanted a piece of it. There's no one in that picture that is over 20 besides Gene. There's no one.
Yeah, you're
they're
right.
Youth. And I'm not making fun of them. I know what the moss pit is, and those guys go out there and give the energy. It's sick. But Gene, what a bold, crazy thing to do.
That was insane. Is that all we had for in the room? Just Connor and Gene? Gene was out of the room. He was in the open.
Gene was out of the room. What else was there? Pickard had one. I listened to his yesterday, and he was just saying, I knew I could get back to this point. Not necessarily the playoffs, but it's I knew after spending time in the American League that I could get back to the NHL. He said it didn't matter what other people believed as long as I believed in myself to get there. And now here we are. Honestly, I do not know how far Calvin Pickard can take this team. It's going to be game by game, and that's what he says too. It's game by game thing. But there's also no reason to not believe that he can help the Oilers win it all.
I mean, listen, everyone thought this Kings team was, they were the talk of the town, Liam.
Yeah.
And Calvin Pickard backstopped the Oilers to 4 straight wins, only undefeated goalie in the playoffs. There have been, I love the stat from Gregor. There have been 17 goalies in the NHL, or in the playoffs, who have played at least 3 games. 17.
This year?
Yep, this year. The 3 Vezina finalists rank 15th, 16th, and 17th in goals against. How does that happen?
Man,
How does that happen?
it doesn't make a lot of sense. His save percentage last night was the worst of the series.
That is wild.
852. But you know what? I don't care.
One at
This
the end
is-
kind of skews it, but that was still a big goal. So.
This is why save percentage to me sucks. Because last night Pickard made some unreal saves. He was so good. Klingberg even had to save last night. But the only stat that matters is
How about
the
this
W.
one?
Which one we
The
got?
pad save.
Oh, yeah.
Brown Brand Clark.
Oh, yeah, that
That
was a
was
good
crazy.
one. Also, how did this puck end up in the corner? Oh, there we go.
Wait. Can you play
Oh,
that
that's a different
again? Watch whoever that is. It might have been Kulak, whoever the
What a
forward comes in.
save.
They just kind of stumble a little bit and almost fall as the puck comes loose there. It was Kulak. You can't see on that angle.
Is this the angle you wanted?
Yeah, watch Kulak. I think it's his foot in. What a save. That is unreal. Here we go.
Oh, he trips on it. He trips on Pickard's stick.
Oh, is that what he did?
Yeah,
Okay.
because Pickard's stick gets loose. I mean, Pickard's just flipping around in the crease. He's the best.
You know, he didn't make the save yesterday. Darcy Kemper.
That Darnell Nurse chance is the one I look at, and it's like, dude, how are you not stopping that puck?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a purebred sniper or whatever. That's just a defenseman flipping a wrister under your blocker. Like, crazy.
Who had one great goal scoring season and got $9 million for it.
Congrats.
And he got it all back yesterday too in my
Yep.
box. Nurse is like,
yep.
there's someone who like embraces the city. I think Darnell Nurse is like the top of the list. I think he's just so good for this team.
the reason he wins, he's won the King Clancy.
Always wins it. Yeah, he's always a nominee. And I think he just loves playing in Edmonton as much. And like, I think that says a lot about his character. Like, there's no way he hasn't heard the criticism. And like, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's very warranted. He's not very good. He hasn't been good the past couple of years. But this year he stepped up. And for him to score that goal in such a huge game, I'm glad it was him. Like, I'm glad he was the one that was able to get that goal and just get everyone fired up. And yeah, he's just such a good ambassador for this city, I think.
I'm ripping the waters today.
You want to give me a little bit? You got any left?
How many press breaks last night for you two?
One
You're
outside by
gonna
my...
give some to him before me.
Gotta give some to Alex Plant.
I had one.
I had one. I went right at the end of the second period. So, here's one. This is such a nerdy broadcasting thing for me to notice. I have an obsession with hoping we don't get as many commercial breaks as we're supposed to. Oh. So, right, you get the TV timeouts are the first whistle after 14 minutes, 10 minutes, and 5 minutes, but they can't take a TV timeout if rest would impact one team more than the other, right? So they can't do it after goals because that could mess with momentum, and they obviously can't do it after icings. And sometimes start of the power plays, I think it depends on how late after the TV time, how late for break they are.
Okay.
But those two, icings and goals, you can't take a TV timeout after. So we had our first TV timeout at whatever the 14 or 13:50 mark. It was like right on time. Great. And I was saying that I was like, okay, I'm not going to go for this one because if I can wait till the second TV timeout, then I know I won't need to piss again during this game. See?
Thinking.
Piss management, they call it. Anyways, we didn't get that other one. So every single whistle from the 13:50 mark until a minute 57, every whistle was either an icing or a goal.
Are you talking second period?
Second period.
Yes, I noticed this too.
So we missed a TV timeout in the second period because they only took the one with 157 because every single whistle was an icing or a goal.
So I went and took to the bathroom once in the game.
Well, you were drinking that $10 Gatorade.
Yeah. And I saw you and you waved me over and I said, I'm going for a piss. And you said, it looked like you said something like, you won't make it.
Yeah, I didn't think you, because you went dead in the middle of the intermission.
Oh, yeah. So this is the plan. So, you know, when you go up at the top of the section you sit in, you go left, there's a bathroom right there. Like Mullet said, don't go to that one. Keep going. There's another one. You ever gone to that one?
107.
There was no one in there.
It
was insane. There was literally, the other line was down. It looked like it wrapped around Rogers. The other one, not a peep. Just a lot of pee.
2 tips. If you are in the lower bowl, piss in 107.
Yeah.
There is never a line.
Never.
And even if there is a line,
It's also a big bathroom.
it's a huge bathroom.
Yeah.
It had most urinals in the lower bowl. Also, if you just go around the corner, there, like in the back corner, there's always 4 empty urinals.
Yeah, no, it's like no one knows.
No one knows there's a behind the corner. Also, upper bowl, I sat there for game 4. Usually not an upper bowl guy, not a big deal. There are so many unused urinals in those bathrooms. People, there are corners. Go around the corner. I went over there. There was like 5 open urinals. We waited so long in that line. There were 5 open urinals. And as I'm walking through the line, I was telling people, I'm like, there are more around the corner. There are more around the corner. And people just like didn't even care. Like the next guy in line, I'm like, hey man, there's like 5 open urinals behind the corner. And he just stood there and looked at me. I was like, am I speaking a different language right now?
He was pissing.
Yeah, mistaken Mexican. 107 is 2x the size of 113. Yeah, totally.
It's crazy. Yeah, right around the corner. I did the same thing when I was walking out. After I'd gone around the corner, there's a big line. Yeah. And I said, hey, there's about 5 urinals over there. And the guys didn't move. Credit to them. The line really shortened. But yeah, if you're looking for some bathrooms, there you go.
Our rules analyst, my cousin Josh. For power plays, you can take it if the penalty can start directly after the TV timeout. But if a penalty starts before the TV timeout, it has to play fully out.
Our rules analyst. Hey, Josh, what did you make of the non-call on Pickard? Like that
goal interference, was he out of the crease? I don't know. I saw people saying that.
I still think that's got to count for something. Like, do you remember if you, I don't know. To me, it was a huge hit. And just because he's like slightly out, I still think the goalie should have some level of protection, no? Like, I just think that's crazy. Like, the one a few years ago with Milan Lucic and Ryan Miller, I don't remember what the outcome of that was. Didn't Lucic get suspended a game? Am I wrong in thinking that? Aaron, do you know?
I think he might have.
I think he did. And Miller had the puck, but he blew him up.
Did Luch get suspended for the hit on Mike Smith in the BOA?
No.
They didn't give him a game. They just gave him the 5, right? The 5-minute major, I think, in the moment.
And I think that's fair.
All right, let's continue along with the show. You know what we do need to do? We can go outside of Edmonton for just a second here, and then we are obviously going to get back on point with our boy Jason Demers. But let's get to the menu. The menu is brought to you by the Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 Portable Glass Air Fryer.
Meet the Ninja Crispy Portable Cooking System. The power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hand.
The Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 Portable Glass Air Fryer is an all-in-one system that includes 4-quart, 6-cup Tupperware glass containers. It is thermal shock resistant and can go from frozen to crispy in minutes. With the Crispy Power Pod, you get the power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hands. That is unbelievable. The 4-quart container can fit up to 4 pounds of chicken or veggies, and you can even cook a personal-sized meal in 7 minutes in the 6-cup container. Max Crisp, bake, air fry, re-crisp, do it all with the Ninja Crispy. You can prep, cook, and store anything from crispy favorites to one-dish meals. Visit their website in the link in the description and stay tuned for a chance to win a free Ninja Crispy for one of our lucky fans. All right, the menu. Tonight, there's one game on tap. Game 6, Jets and Blues. I have a feeling this one's going 7. I think we're going to get a weekend with 2 Game 7s.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Game 7s are great. You always sit down and watch a Game 7. It's just such a different element of any sport that it's played in. And yeah, this Winnipeg-St. Louis series has been, if you're Winnipeg, you're probably pissed that you got St. Louis in the first round. The team that obviously had all the momentum coming into, what did they have, 12, 13-game win streak, whatever it was. But like, Winnipeg should have the ability to close it out. I just don't believe it because also Mark Scheifele's not playing, right?
Yeah, he's out, did not travel, but Nick Ehlers did travel. I was chatting with Murat Atesh, who's a great guy for The Athletic.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, yes. He's been on the show a couple of times. What did he have it? Because he said Ehlers might play.
Yeah, I saw something about
Yeah,
him.
he's in line. He's in line rushes, and he was on the power play. So it sounds like they're going to get Ehlers back, which is huge.
Well, a team like the Jets, who doesn't Vladislav Nemeshnikov, their second line center.
He's their top line center tonight, playa.
That was always a bad thing for them. So
yeah,
the fact they're doing that tonight is not good.
What did you make of the Leafs finishing it off against the Senators?
They probably should have finished off. I'm
not giving them that much credit. People were like, their stars finally woke up and delivered. And it's like, you know what? If you would have done that in game 4, I would have been like, sure.
Yeah.
Third crack against the Sens.
How many goals did Austin Matthews finish with? Once we figure that out, edit this clip and I'll say my joke. He had 2. Okay, say what you just said again. The Stars didn't show up.
Stars didn't show up.
I would give him credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin Matthews was finished with the same amount of goals as he did sticks broke by Ridley Gregg. Did you see that?
No.
He broke 2 of Ridley Gregg's sticks.
Really? That's
and he finished with 2 goals in the series.
That's expensive.
Maybe focus on playing hockey, Austin.
Yeah. I think listen, shit's unpredictable. They might get rolled by Florida, though.
Yeah, they're going to get killed.
You think they're done? You think they're
yes, 1,000,000%. Stolarz was the backup on Florida last season.
Decent
They
point.
deemed him not good enough to be their starter, despite leading the league in goals and against the save percentage, whatever it was. I don't think they stand a chance.
Florida
really
just
don't.
worked Tampa. They're going to bully the Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
That's a fair
we
point.
undervalued Florida.
Toronto won the division.
Yeah. LA finished higher than us in the standings, spanked us every game.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs are different. I don't know. I just can't see a world where Florida doesn't win that series in 6 or less.
Dallas, Colorado. Did you see the game winner?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see the... Do we... You know... Yeah, I was going to
No, I
say,
didn't. I
Pat
was at
had
the
it on
game.
DFL Live. I know, but...
I went
The
home
internet.
I went home and I watched the Oilers interviews.
Yeah, so did I.
And I'll be watching a Will Ferrell movie tonight in honor.
Oh, yeah. That thing they did, and I wasn't... Was it on... Did it come on the broadcast?
Yeah,
people
they showed
posted
it.
They did?
Yeah, coming out of commercial,
That
went
was-
right to it.
Ballsy.
If you lose the game after doing that,
Yeah.
tough luck. Prime trolling, though. That is great stuff.
Yeah. It was oh boy. Yeah, that was special. I did not see that. 'Cause they don't usually do that kind of stuff.
No.
But
If
they
you
were
missed
feeling
it on the broadcast or whatever, they put Will Ferrell and they like horribly photoshopped Oilers logos on him. And he goes on the Kings Jumbotron at Kings games and does this whole like, come on, Kings fans, I need you to get up out of your feet. Go, Kings, go. And they just brutally dubbed over Oilers. Edmonton
so
Oilers.
funny.
It was so funny, man.
I respect Will Ferrell a lot. The fact that he goes to those games, like he's at every game, every playoff game at least, and just sits front row. He has a seat. He's a season ticket holder.
He's like a legitimate fan.
Yeah, and I do like that about him.
Yeah.
And he'll like high five people around him. Like, I love Will Ferrell.
Okay, do we have the Stars winner? Look at this.
All right, let me take a peek.
Okay,
This is the Stars winner?
Yeah. No,
Avs
sorry, the
winner.
Avs winner. Nathan McKinnon drives wide. One hand, puts it on net, bounces off Stars skate.
Oh, no.
They shoot it off Colin Blackwell, who's basically at the bottom of the circle, and it somehow goes top corner. This angle's so good.
I had not
Ready?
seen. Oh, no.
That was my guy, Sam Steele, who shot that puck.
Tough luck for the local boy,
Oh,
the
that's
local lad.
really unfortunate.
This angle, too, is just like, whoop, whoop.
Oh, popping. Oh, so close by.
Sammy
Oilers,
made the
too.
right play. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Sure. Yeah.
The actually, I think it was Hyman whose shot it would have been. He almost got one of these last night that looped over Kemper and
Yeah.
just sat right on the line. Also, you would have seen this too from where we were sat. Just after that, so Kane got slightly slashed, I would say, by Fiala on that.
Yeah.
Went down a bit too easy for me. But either way, like shortly after, Kane had the puck behind the net and tried to throw it in front, and the puck was slightly loose, but then Kemper covered it, and Kane gave him a good whack on the glove. And Drew Doughty did nothing. Like, looked at him and just kind of ignored it. I was very surprised.
Yeah. This was the McKinnon goal. Yeah, it was. I think it counted as a Nate goal, who finished with 3 points, I believe. One of them was, two of them were on empty netters, and one of them was that.
Now that's your star showing up.
Like, he's an empty
Literally.
net fluke goal merchant. But remember, I did parlay at the beginning of the series. I did McKinnon to lead the series in points and McDavid to lead the series in points. I was like 50 into 280.
Yeah.
So McKinnon has 10, Rantanen has 8.
I can't believe Ranton's shown up this last
Yeah, he really showed up last game. What did he have? 4
4
points?
points yesterday.
Him and Rupe Hintz combined for 8 points in the second period alone.
Are you
It's crazy.
gonna sprinkle anything on Cody Ceci for Game 7?
Oh, shit.
I think we have to.
It would be worth doing point prop at least, I think.
They have his odds up. I mean,
Do they?
come on, man. Come
They
on.
probably won't offer Cody Ceci points. Only goal.
His goal might be like plus 20,000
Oh, I'm in.
He's 14-1.
to score.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Low
Might even
tied for
score
lowest number
first.
stars.
Do you have? Is his points up? I would assume not yet.
I doubt they're even I doubt they're offering Cody Ceci points. No, they're not offering
No.
Cody Ceci points. 14-1 to score.
I'll look a little closer.
You gotta.
The guy shows up. It's the craziest thing in sports. Cody Ceci 2 Game 7 goals and a Game 7 Stanley Cup final assist. Come on, no one does it like him.
Big time players, big time plays.
Big time.
Big time. All right, there you go. That is the menu for our friends over at the Ninja Crispy. Oh, so we're going to be giving one away. Visit the link in our description here. Speaking of betting odds, let's do it for Bet365, an official partner of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. They got it all. Game lines, player props, totals, money line, even bet on futures. like the Stanley Cup winner. Whatever you bet, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, an official partner of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Must be 19 or older. Download the app and get in on the game. What do you think the Oilers' cup odds are now? Remember the Edmonton Oilers were 20-1 when they were down 2-0 to the LA Kings.
They've got to be like 1,900.
They are second on the board.
Yeah, in Florida.
Yeah. Plus 425.
Wow. What's Florida then? 300?
400. And then Carolina in fourth at plus 525, or in third, sorry, plus 525. Who do you think's fourth and fifth?
Sorry, Carolina's third.
Yeah, it goes Florida, Edmonton, Carolina.
Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto's 4.
Vegas 850 is nuts.
Colorado.
Vegas 850 is crazy, actually. If I wasn't an Oilers guy, I'd be sitting there being like, oh, Vegas 850?
You know what? Carolina, I don't get it. Every year we do this.
I know. Actually, you know what the value play probably is here? So I'm just pulling it back up.
Dallas.
Capitals at 11-1.
Yeah.
The idea that they could get through Carolina, yes.
Yeah.
The idea that they could get a beat up Florida team that's played so much hockey the last couple of years, like that's why I was picking against the Panthers in round 1, is because I was like, they've just played so much hockey.
Yeah. We saw it with the Lightning.
Yeah.
Like eventually, did they get to the final or the Western final? Whatever.
1-1, and then they didn't get back to the final and lose. Because it's been the last 5 years, I think, all 5 of them have featured a Florida team in the final.
Do we have... Okay, here's series odds. So the Oilers are the favorite in their series.
Really?
Minus 115. Vegas is minus 105. Florida minus 180. Toronto plus 150.
Yeah.
Capitals plus 135. Underdogs in their series against Carolina, who's minus 160.
Panthers Caps parlay plus 265 is not bad.
If you're feeling a bit lucky, St. Louis to win the series is plus 350.
To win 2 games? What are they tonight on straight line? Because that's always the math I like doing.
They are minus 115.
Oh, yeah, so plus 350 is a great bet, right? Because if you were to do 100, it would turn into 450 doing that. 100 would turn into 186, and they're probably going to be like plus what? Plus 1 something for Game 7?
Well, right now, like the Jets are minus 105, so let's just say it's even money for the sake of argument.
Well, I'm saying Game 7 now to roll.
That's what I mean. So once it flips.
I bet you'd be Jets favorited.
No. That's what I mean. Like the Jets would be minus 115 and the Blues would be plus 100.
Yeah, so it's better to just take the plus 350 if you believe the Blues can win.
Yeah, sure.
That is our advice.
Believe
I need Nate to lead this series in scoring so bad. Come on, Nate. Speaking of bets, I hit some banging Jays parlays yesterday. See the Jays
win? No, I didn't.
They were down 2-1, bottom of the 8th, 2 out. Vladdy, 3-run yak. They're playing the Cleveland Guardians today. I don't know what you're thinking. Is this going to be our friend Eric Sabrowski's first time playing baseball in Canada? No, he's still hurt.
That sucks.
I know. It legitimately made me sad this morning.
Yeah.
I was like doing my little betting research for the day and like sending my stuff. And I was like, oh, Jay's Guardians. I was like, oh, man.
When's he back?
I think he still said end of May. They transferred him to the 60-day IL.
Is that good?
No, it's not good. But I think it was just to create a spot on the 40-man.
Oh, so
and then they'll just DFA someone when he's back. So I don't think it's I'm hoping it. I'm choosing to believe it's a sign he's going to be coming back end of May. How's your bracket looking? Did you fill one out?
Oh, I
or
did.
do you not believe in brackets?
No, I'm a bracket believer. How do I do
We
that
did them on the
again?
show, right?
Do you have them, Aaron?
No.
They'd be so far down.
Let me look. I would have
so.
saved.
Yeah.
Bracket challenge.
You probably emailed it to me.
Yeah, I probably did.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron, bracket.
Oh, I got it.
Oh,
Do you have mine?
I have ties. You had Oilers Leafs, right?
Yeah, I know those Leafs.
Okay, I'll bring that in.
Okay, yeah, flash that up for the
in.
people here. We'll keep going through some stuff. JD should be here soon. Oh, here's a good question. Hockey Jockey, I saw this one asked earlier as well. Does anyone know the status of Ekholm?
Yeah.
Yes, I got
Jason
some
Demers tweeted
tweets
last
here.
night.
Really?
Yeah, he said he spoke to him in the elevator and he won't be back for round 2. Also, I got every single one correct besides Tampa Bay, who I had to go into the final, the conference final. But the rest of them, all good.
Okay, wait, Jason Demers or Gregor?
Gregor spoke with Ekholm in elevator.
Did I say
He had
Demers?
never missed a playoff game. He said, quote, very hard watching. You get so nervous. Will not play in the second round. DNB also had Nobby says Oilers D-man. Ekholm doubtful for round 2. We got John Klingberg, dude. We're fine.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Man, they're going to need their D-men to be a lot better than they were last night.
But I think they
In hindsight, it ended up being fine, but like there was a point halfway through the game where I was laughing, being like, the Oilers are going to win this hockey game. And at that point, I was thinking the Oilers were going to win this game handedly without any of their defensemen playing a good game. And Calvin Pickard and it.
And they found a way.
Because that's just what they do.
Yeah, and that's why like the defense is obviously it's not a strength of their team right now. That would be an overstatement to say the least. But I still think it's fine. Like just the idea of being able to like adjust to your opponent, and they all seem to be able to make plays when you truly, really, really need one.
Yeah.
And the forwards are out there blocking shots and being responsible as well. Like now this will be an obvious statement. When the other team scores, the Oilers completely collapse. You know what I mean? Like, they don't allow teams to, like, earn goals, which is a positive and a negative in the same way, I guess. But, yeah, their defense. Shout out John Klingberg again. Can you imagine if Josh Brown was playing? Holy smokes.
I got both your brackets. Here's Tyler's.
All right. Oh, JD's here.
Oh.
No time for this nonsense.
He's not here.
Oh. He texted me and said ready.
Wow.
Oh, pop.
It's breakfast. This one's Tyler's?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tyler so far needs the Winnipeg Jets to go through. He needs Colorado to go through. He picked the Wild, picked the Oilers, got Carolina, picked Montreal.
He says he needs the link.
I emailed it to him.
Picked Tampa Bay, picked Toronto. You've had a tough time so far in this one.
Toronto's alive. My cup final's still alive. You can't say it's a tough time when my cup final's still alive and 3 of my 4 conference finalists are still alive. The Montreal thing was very stupid. I realized that after game 1 of that series.
But you picked Minnesota, Montreal, and Tampa. You had a tough time in the first round.
Minnesota, Montreal, and Tampa. I could still go. Can I bat above 500? 1, 2, 3.
My bracket is 83% right now.
3. I could still go 5 and 3. That's above average.
Do you have mine, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
This is mine.
What's that here?
I had Vegas going through, which they did.
You're in the same spot as me. You have 3 of your 4 conference finalists still alive with 1 playing in game 7.
I only picked one team. Only one of my picks has been eliminated so far.
Yeah, big picture, playa. Second time today I've called you playa. You're 3. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, you could go 7 for 8 in the first round. That's somewhat impressive.
And I got the Oilers series right in how long it went. Washington. I don't think I got Carolina and Toronto. So I got 3 of the series right in line.
Yeah, you got 3 of them like dead to nuts right.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But still, at the end of the day, we're talking about who gets their final 4 the most correct. And you're in a similar spot to me.
Better spot.
If Toronto
I
wins...
sent JD 2 links. So
Well,
Yeah,
if he pops in, I'll throw him up.
he'll probably join one of them. But remember, we have to play the thing to start with him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
We'll do that after our ad read for JD. If the people have any questions in the chat for JD, let me know. Also, if you have any questions for Ask Doobie next week, do
Yeah.
that as well.
yeah, it's been a good show so far. Then we're going to try and move it to podcast form.
We are. We're going to try to get it up on the podcast form for the people. We're thinking of just releasing it as like an episode of Oilers Nation Radio so that people don't need to like add another podcast to their list, and they'll just like get the notification they would if they subscribe to Oilers Nation Radio, which we're recording a new episode of coming up in just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about Yaremchuk.
Oh, buddy, if Rick's going to make that the delicious debate. He's going to step up and go, I'm doing the delicious debate for once, and he's going to say that.
I'll defend it till I die. I don't think I had a bad take on him.
No, I don't think so either. Like, players deserve to be criticized when they don't play well in the regular season.
Yeah.
Matthias Janmark, again, I always say the idea of a guy having 1 good playoffs and being labeled a playoff performer is a little foolish. It got Ville Leno paid a bunch of money back in the day. It got Zach Kassian paid a bunch of money. Teams make mistakes when they fall in love with guys out of 1 playoffs. Now that Janmark's doing it again, son of a bitch, he's a playoff player.
I'm all in.
Yeah, I love him. Next January, I will despise him.
Yes.
Next April, I will love him again. This is how my relationship with Matthias Janmark works. And I'm sure he'd be okay with it if he knew I existed.
I bet he knows.
And he probably does.
We talked to him.
Did we?
Yeah, we talked to him at the Cup final. He told us about the Washington game.
Oh, yeah, we did talk to Janmark at the Cup final.
Yeah.
I forgot we interviewed all these guys at the Cup final.
We did.
Yeah.
All of them.
Our Holloway one was very awkward.
Holloway, I don't recall.
Who? Guy on the injured reserve for the Blues?
Do you remember they had the table right away from everyone. It was just like the players who were the Black Aces. I don't know if they even did it for the Oilers guys, but for Florida, it was that
Mahura?
Who?
Josh Mahura?
No. It was even further away from that. It was just like the Latvian guy that they had, like a bunch of guys. I can't even think of what they were called, but there was like a table at 3 and 4, and I think they had the Latvian reporter over there. Credit to him. I'm sure he got some good answers. No one else was around. Poor guy.
Oh, while we're killing time, I may remind you, Jay hit his bet last night.
This is just insanity. He can basically not win another bet, and it will be hard for you and I to catch him.
I'll just hit one like this too. Every game,
Frederic
if you did something like this, surely you'll be fine. I already got my challenge. Whatever.
Yeah, you got bad. Hey,
Once you win your fantasy league once, you're chilling.
people are calling you reverse Yanmark. Regular season guy can't play in the playoffs. Can't bet in the playoffs. I just keep betting Connor McDavid 2 points. And like, again, one of those things where like the reason the sport isn't played on paper, if you would have told me after game 4, you're like, hey, the Oilers are going to win the next 2, I would have been like, sweet. Connor McDavid goes off.
Yeah.
He had 2 points, 1 into an empty net and 1 on the power play. It's crazy.
Yep. Again, just shows the level of depth the Oilers actually had in this series. I wanted to tweet that out last night, but I forgot.
All jokes aside, Trent Frederic, it's like noticeable, tangible improvement game after game for him.
Totally. He can just skate now.
Yeah, like he can move. It's the game goes better when you can skate. All right.
Who would have thought?
All right.
Who would have thunk it?
It is something, man. It is something.
Who on the Golden Knights are you worried about the most?
Eichel. He's playing really good hockey right now.
Did he turn it around?
That pass he flipped the switch a little bit in the last couple games. That pass from Stone to him for the game winner yesterday was sick. It was just like a little alley-oop, like lob through center ice, and Eichel just burnt wide and then beat Gustafsson.
Yeah, what's that? 5 points.
They concern me a bit off the rush like that, I suppose, just from what I've seen on their highlights so far. So,
yeah, I think those two. Thomas Hurdle, I hope he doesn't kind of get hot here. He had a good regular season, but these games were tight between Edmonton and Vegas this season.
Yeah.
Like, people might forget we lost 1-0 to them. You know?
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a fun series.
they're deep, right? Like,
but
this
not as
isn't
deep as they have been.
push back on that a little bit. Howden,
so?
Olofsson, Pearson, fourth line. Nicholas Raw, Ivan Barbashev, Riley Smith. Hurdle, Saad, Kolasar is a little weird, but it's still going to be good. Like, they're good, man. They're blue line. They're deep pairings. McNabb, Theodore, Hagen, Petrangelo, Hannafin, and Whitecloud.
Yeah, that blue line's
That's
legit.
crazy. Aiden Hill, even though his numbers are wonky, he has really good expected numbers.
I didn't realize Howden had 23 goals this season. That's pretty good. I can't imagine Saad and Kolasar can't play in their second line every night, right?
I think they do because it's Hurdle.
That's bonkers.
And they just grind, man.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll beat them.
Yeah, again, listen. It's going to be a tight series. You got to take it game by game. Rusty says, I think Edmonton matches up well against Vegas. It's going to be a great series, but I think Edmonton is deeper. Oilers in 6. Jeff Skinner, but we have Connor Brown. Well,
True. But we have the Hulk.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty decent point. Oh, and my chat's broken. Is your chat working? Oh, and my chat's working again.
Yep.
What are your top moments from this series?
How many?
3.
Top 3 moments from this series. Okay, just individual moments alone. Number 3 is Connor McDavid's game 1 goal to tie it 5-5.
That was electric. In the moment, that was sick.
Number 2, Evan Bouchard's goal in game 3.
To tie it? Tie game 4?
To give him the lead.
Oh,
the
that
power
one.
play goal. Number 1.
Yeah, that was sick.
Drysdale's overtime.
Oh, see, I think my number 1 is Bouchard tying it.
Yeah, that was
it really
awesome,
did feel like once the Oilers got it to OT, it's like, I don't know how they're going to score, but someone's going to score.
That's true.
All right, perfect. We filibustered just enough to end the show with a bang. Star Mechanical Guest Line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more by visiting them online at starmechanical.ca, whether it's residential, commercial, 24/7 emergency service. They do it all and they do it well. Before you bring on Jason Demers, I would like to start this segment by playing the very, very end of our hit 7 days ago with JD.
The season's on the line, boys.
70% chance of Game 7. That means JD believes there's a 30% chance the Oilers win in 6. That's the optimism we like, Jason. Thanks for popping on. Jason Demers, former NHL or NHL Network analyst. Always appreciate you giving us some time here on a Friday. And JD, you son of a gun, you nailed it. Oilers in 6, hey?
As an analyst and somebody in that, you just move the line to make yourself sound right every day you can. And here to eat some crow, but what a resilient team this Edmonton Oilers team is, and finding a way to kind of wrestle this back and never giving up. And listen, that was a full team effort. I mean, you look at Game 5, that was the third and fourth line winning that game. And then, the big boys kind of showed up, but they got contributions from everybody, missing their best defenseman. And I think it's still more of an indictment on the LA Kings because, I think as Oilers fans, we got to, the Oilers fans are smart, and you can look and say, listen, you don't want to interrupt your enemy or your opponent when they're making mistakes. And, that goalie interference call probably turned the series around because it was all Kings. And I mean, it's crazy. Like that turn of events, I think everybody, we have a thread I kind of mention a lot with the NHL Network, and everybody's just like, what the frick happened? Because it is crazy. But that's just what the Edmonton Oilers have done dating back to last year. I tweeted about it. I think the resiliency from last year in the finals, they found something, a way to stay calm under pressure. And whether that's good leadership, coaching staff, they've just found a way. Now, I still think that they got a lot to fix if they want to make a run, but this is now you have a chance to get Matthias Ekholm back, and this team could end up just coming out of nowhere. So it's not out of nowhere, but down 2-0, and you make the goaltending change with Calvin Pickard, and he is just solid enough and good enough to get you 4 straight wins. So Judas Priest, I still got to work for you guys for the next fucking month because they're in the playoffs.
And again, I totally get what you're saying, because I think Jim Hiller challenging that goal was a momentum changer, obviously, gave the Oilers Game 3. But also, stylistically, this Kings team, there was a point yesterday, they're down by 2 goals, their season is on the line, and they're still just sending in the one guy to forecheck and 4 guys up in the neutral zone. The inability from them to adjust, I know, again, it's a lot of people, and we've done it, you point to that one moment in the goalie interference call, and you go, Hiller cost him this series, but I also think he cost them this series in a whole different way as well, with how they just kept playing the same style, and it clearly wasn't working.
Well, you look at those first 2 games, categorically dominated Edmonton for 2 periods. I mean, for the first 3 games, 2 periods, 40 minutes, every one of those games, they dominated. They were aggressive. They were on the forecheck. They were hitting. Connor and Leon weren't doing much. The penalty kill was good. The power play was good. And then you'd get to the third period, and they'd all of a sudden sit 5 guys, it wasn't even a 1-3-1. They used to run a 1-3-1. This was 5 guys in the defense, just waiting in the defensive zone, not even waiting in the neutral zone. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you're going to let Connor McDavid wind it up for the next 4 games? He's going to find holes. He's going to wear down your team. And him, Leon, the whole team, I mean, it looked like they were doing, neutral zone entries and offensive zone practice for the last 4 games. Because to your point, there's a mental block they can't seem to get out. And I don't know if that's, when they had Todd back, running the 1-3-1, if they just can't get out of it. But they mismanaged their bench. They played their top guys way too much. And when you're playing your top guys way too much and all they're doing is defending, they're going to run out of gas. And you saw that late in the series. They just had nothing left. And, you didn't rely on your young guys. You didn't rely on your depth pieces. And that was kind of the chalk that up to inexperience as a coach, or with Jim Hiller at the highest level, or inexperience. I don't know what it was. It's a head scratcher for me. And I just think, you have Connor and Leon swinging full speed. You got to put somebody in their hip pocket, which they did every game, the first 3 games for the first 40 minutes. And then they're like, let's just sit back and hold on to this lead. And that'll work against the Edmonton Oilers that just that is what they're good at doing, is exactly what the LA Kings let them do. So, and I just think they wore him down over a 6-game series. And yeah, there's a lot of mistakes by that coaching staff. I think a lot.
So obviously Oilers moving on to Vegas now. You mentioned there's probably a few changes they need to make. Like, what would be the number one adjustment you think the Oilers need to make to beat the Vegas Golden Knights?
Oof. It's tough because you look at that series and it's going to come down to the defensive side of the puck for them, and how much can they kind of protect Calvin Pickard. Because, I tweeted, I was like, where does Stuart Skinner go next year? Because I'm like, you can maybe go back to him, but if I'm Stuart Skinner, I'm sitting there like, kiss my ass, everybody. But Calvin comes in and he does what he's been doing for forever, and he just provides relief, and guys are playing hard in front of him, but they're still letting a lot get there offensively. Like, if LA would have stayed aggressive, I don't know how the series goes, and I don't think Vegas is not going to make that mistake. I don't think they will, and I think they have kind of a similar team makeup, but they're just a little bit, their top guys are a little bit younger. So it's like not by much, but just a little bit younger. And I think that Minnesota series, the first 2 games, I was like, this is going to wear on Vegas, but they kind of wrestled it back. And they play like a better version of LA Kings' system. Like, they play that zone defense. So they're still going to pressure in the neutral zone in a 1-2-2. But when they get into the zone, it's very that your centerman's never going below the goal. Your D-men are never going above the tops of the circles. They're not going to chase 5 men around. They're going to kind of play tight and wait for their opportunities. So I think it's going to be, again, it's the same old story with the Oilers. It's how much can the defense and the goaltending hold up and provide enough relief to kind of let them score their troubles away. And you look at Edmonton, it's like most teams, it's like the race to 3. If you get 3 goals scored on you, you're probably losing. Edmonton doesn't matter. You can give up 3 or 4 and they could still pull the win out because they're so dynamic offensively. So that's where, for me, I'm like, you keep it 2-3 goals, keep it tight. Their power play kind of found something. So it's going to be interesting to see against Vegas. I think Vegas's PK is good and has more of some offensive threat capabilities where they can kind of score shorthanded. And I think again, I look at it and I'm like, Vegas, that Pacific was so tight. And it's like Vegas is kind of the same level-ish of LA. So for Edmonton, I got to be pretty happy coming out of this series being like, this is kind of a very similar team. They'll be faster. They'll be more physical. And Vegas will kind of just try to outsmart them a little bit. So it's going to be an interesting series. And, Edmonton hasn't had a ton of success against them. So I'm going to see if they can it's different because they have so much success against LA and they have the mental edge. I don't think they have that mental edge against Vegas. So that's going to be the between the ears that's going to happen in this series. So
one thing that was encouraging for me is the fact that the Oilers won these last 2 games with Connor and Leon not getting a single 5v5 point in either of them. Like, the 4 forward lines for the Oilers, it's like, man, you can hang your hat on that. That helps. But then you go to the blue line, JD, and it's like, okay, this patchwork blue line. There are no pairings. Everybody plays with everyone. Darnell Nurse took a shift with every single one of these defensemen last game. Is that sustainable? Do you trust Knobloch, or should we trust Knobloch and Coffey, or do you think this is a blue line that could get picked apart once the competition level just gets raised a little more?
You just don't have any other options, though. Like,
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of just in. I think after game 2, they figured, like, we got to, like, to your point, like, everybody's got to play with everybody, and we got to play more situational pairings versus just you're sticking your 3 pairings and that's it. And if Matthias, I haven't read much how far out Matthias is, but if he comes back in round 2, I mean, it's really going to slot some people in some better positions. And Evan will really have Ekholm with them, and then Nursey can kind of play with the rest of the guys, and you can just kind of mix and match. But listen, they did a good job. After game 3, I thought they did a good job, and it's one of those things. I don't know how to feel because you watch that series and you're like, was it Edmonton that really took over, or did LA just mentally like get so fucked that they just kind of like made so many mistakes and like I'm not discounting anything the Oilers did, because what they did is is so impressive on the mental side, and them to stick with it and never kind of panic, and you could see the frustration, but they stuck with it, and they got some really good goaltending, and you said it. The biggest thing with Edmonton is when they get secondary scoring, they're hard to beat because Connor and Leon will get their cookies, but on the kind of off game or so, a game 5 is kind of a game where Connor and Leon are held off the score sheet, or the 5-on-5. They kind of should lose that game, but their third and fourth line steps up, and that's the big thing with Edmonton. If they can keep that rolling, I think you're going to see some good stuff. And I mean, look, those guys that were injured coming back, they're getting healthy and they're getting experience every single game. I thought Evander Kane was extremely effective. Trent Frederic too got better as the series went on, and Connor Brown's actually just provided some great speed, so you got to like what you see. I'm interested to just see how this series plays out. It's one of those where we all had LA winning, and a lot of people did, obviously not Oilers fans, but a lot of people had LA winning. And now it's like, okay, we all have to reset and be like, fuck, they could do this. Like they could get through and beat Vegas. And, Vegas kind of showed that they're potentially beatable against a Minnesota Wild team that is kind of a few pieces away from being something special. So yeah, I listen, it's my long-winded answer of saying, like, I'm not saying anything, so I look bad again. I'm just going to be like, yeah.
Beat around the bush.
I'm just beating around that bush. I'm beating around it. No, but listen, that you got to give credit to that decor. They did a good job late. They still gave up a lot of chances, but last game, I mean, that was a beatdown for a game 6 where their season's on the line. That was it. They quit, and it was 5-4, but I thought Edmonton really handedly took care of them. So
I have no idea where that Kings team goes from here. Like we talked about it off the jump today. You have one more year at Kempe, one more year at Kopitar, 2 more years at Doughty. Like, do you sit there and run it back next year and sign a big free agent, push hard for Marner, try to bring back this like new revitalized group, or do you just sit there and go, we got to burn it down. We aren't good enough.
4 years of losing the way they've lost, you're eventually, it just shows that you don't have what it takes to win a cup. It's not a question of like, because you'd eventually, if you don't get Edmonton in the first round, you kind of will eventually get them. So you have to beat the best team. So it's like I think there needs to be a change. I think the top older guys need to go and they need to kind of refix this and do something, because I thought they had the team to do it defensively, but listen, they just can't. If you can't get by Edmonton, you're 4 straight years. Something's got to change. So something's got to give, and I think they'll address, and I think it'll be a big off season for them. And I'm like looking at coaching staff, like I don't know. In the world we're living in right now, and the way coaching staffs are so easily just thrown to the curb, you got to think that that's a conversation in that room right now with the brain trust there with Rob Blake and them being like, because the way the call was bad. The way he handled it and doubled down after the game was very scary to me, because we're all like, we all saw the same thing. We're just all like, oh, that's weird. He's really going to do that? You're going to threaten to potentially put Edmonton on the power play at a pivotal moment in the series? I was like, okay, and then double down on it and get mad at a reporter. I'm like, I don't love that. So we'll see. I'm sure they'll have those conversations, but Edmonton doesn't have to.
Nope. No way. Okay, let's end on some positivity. I like getting on positivity. We'll do a quick one here. Chart me the path to victory for the Oilers to beat the Golden Knights. Like, finish the sentence of the Oilers beat the Golden Knights if blank.
Just kidding. They get serviceable goaltending. I think you got to think Edmonton's one of the least penalized teams in the NHL. You're not going to get a ton of power play looks. They have to stay disciplined, but I think it's going to come down to goaltending. It's really just going to be, can Adin Hill out goaltend Calvin Pickard, and Calvin Pickard out goaltended Darcy Kemper, who's a Vezina Trophy nominee. Can he do that with Adin Hill, who did look a little leaky in the Minnesota series early on? He kind of shored itself up, but yeah, it's going to really be goaltending and the defensive side. I just think it's going to be one of those series that, if they do what they did against LA in those first 3 games of going down early, they will not win that series because Vegas is a lot stronger mentally to withstand that. They won't have as many comebacks as they did. And it could quickly become 3-0 Vegas. Like a game, you look at that LA series, like it could have easily been 3-0 LA. But obviously the mistakes and them sitting back. Vegas, I don't think will make that mistake. They're too battle tested. They understand they've won. They know what it takes. So, and there's a lot of, cup winners on that team. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing is just the defensive side. It's always going to be that if they got to make sure they're scoring first and making sure that they're keeping Calvin Pickard dry out there, because if he's seen a lot of rubber and bad big scoring chances, I don't know. And then can you go back to Stuart Skinner if things go bad? I don't know. I think they've mentioned they can, but Christmas. If I'm Stuart Skinner, I'm sitting there like, when's this over so I can get traded? But, I think I do see a world, and this is me being positive because I think Skinner's going to go to another place and find his game again. But I think, it's going to come down to just the defensive side of the puck.
All right. I think stealing one in Vegas is imperative. If you go down 2-0, I know you're never in trouble till you lose at home, but I think they do have to steal one. That golf shirt's beautiful, by the way. Bad birdie. That's gorgeous.
You like it? Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
the flowers. That's nice. It improved my mood seeing that.
I'm in Arizona. I'm going to golf right now, so that's fine.
Game in good shape?
I'm golfing right now. I'm out of the playoffs versus.
Who's going with you? Dowdy, Kopitar, Kempe?
The boys.
You guys coming down already?
There he is. There's my guy. Oh, if only the Kings listen to this podcast, they'd fucking win a cup.
All right. We really appreciate you always finding time for us, JD. And yes, you get at least 2 more weeks of us because the Oilers stayed alive in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Thanks for doing this.
See you, boys.
See ya.
Oil up.
Oil up, baby. Woo! All right, Jason Demers on the Star Mechanical Guest Line. Also brought to you by Tourism Jasper. This summer, find your happy place in Jasper. From hiking trails, paddling wild waters, or sharing Lost by the Fire, happiness finds you here. Jasper is open, vibrant, ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable memories. Your best summer memories aren't behind you. They're waiting for you in Jasper. Plan your trip, jasper.travel/summer. We got to wrap because we got an episode of Oilers Nation Radio that we are already 2 minutes late for.
Oh, have they started?
I don't know. I don't think they can start without us because we have to hit the buttons.
Oh.
Great week of shows. We're on to round 2, playa.
We did it.
Let's go. Great week, boys. Everybody in the YouTube, thank you so much. Have yourself a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the downtime. We will see you all back right here on Monday to preview round 2 Oilers Knights. Oil up.